Hi everyone, this is Martha. Welcome back to the Zentangle Project Packs series number 2, the 12 Days of Zentangle. Together we will be doing tile number 10. The tools we're going to use today are a black apprentice tile, a white jelly roll pen in the 08 size, a white charcoal pencil, a graphite pencil, and 2 tortillons, one for the graphite and one for the charcoal. We're going to be playing around with the concept of using a tangle as a reticula. And we have this nice big surface to work on. So we're going to do an oversized tangle called paradox. I'm going to start by using my white jelly roll pen and putting 4 dots in the corners. And connecting those dots to form a square. Keeping in mind that the white ink sometimes takes a few moments to dry. So I'm rotating each time so my hand doesn't drag through that beautiful white ink. I'm going to start by drawing a straight line from this corner down to this line. And as I said before, I'm going to use an oversized version of this tangle so we have lots of room to go back in and tangle inside. And then I'm going to turn my tile to the right and start from where I left off. And I'm going to land on the line below. Turn my tile, start on the dot, and land on the line. And I keep going. Rotating in the same direction each time. From the dot to the line. From the dot to the line. From the dot to the line. You'll see I have to rotate it even more each time I get closer to the center. And I get to here. So now I have this beautiful paradox. I'm going to treat each one of these long triangles as a reticula, and I'm going to fill them in. I'm going to use a variation of Marisu, which is a wonderful spiraling tangle, but we're going to fill these with a series of bands that we're going to ink in. Noticing that it's actually a very light touch that helps that ink flow out of that pen. And with each band, we're going to draw an aura on either side, sort of accentuating making your way down the triangle. The white ink adding drama to this black tile. Auraing with a consistent space. I'm sure you can imagine the endless possibilities to filling these long triangles that the paradox creates. Getting down as small as you can muster down to the end. And then turning my tile, I'm going to tackle the next one. So there we are. All of our triangles are completely filled. How cool is that? All right, I'm going to put my pen down now and pick up my graphite pencil. Might want to just wait a few seconds to make sure all of your ink is dry before we attack it with this. And basically we're going to add some pretty heavy shading on all of the outside perimeter lines of the triangle. And you can be pretty liberal with this because you want to have that background filling in. And once we switch over to the white charcoal, it'll actually even bring out the graphite even more. So I'm going to go through and outline each triangle with the graphite. And I'm actually shading the black as well, because when we go over it with the white charcoal, it's going to add another dimension. There. So now I'm going to grab my tortillon that I sort of reserved for graphite. See, I've marked it with a little mark like that. And just go in and blend these heavy marks. Kind of soften them out a little bit. And you'll sort of see that original paradox, those lines kind of come back into focus a little bit. It's kind of fun. Sort of spreading the graphite back into the center of the triangles. So you could almost stop right here. Very cool effects are happening with this shading, but I'm going to take it just one step further and use my white charcoal pencil to really highlight that white, those white bands down the center of the triangles. Don't be afraid to really put it down there. Down the center of each one, I'm kind of doing a little zigzag to emulate a shine. continuing to turn my tile as I work so that the back of my hand doesn't smudge my hard work here. So fun. And grabbing my tortillon that I reserved for my white charcoal, I'm just going to lightly go over what I've done. I kind of like the boldness of the highlights, but I'm going to blend them in a little bit on the edges as they work into the black paper. Kind of has an electric look to it, and you can really see that spiraling paradox accentuated. The contrast between the white and the black is really making this tangle pop. And there we have it. So when you're all done, you can grab your jelly roll again, add your chop, I kind of love it. Molly and I had so much fun playing with this concept of using paradox as a reticula, and we played around with a lot of different ideas, so I thought I'd just share a few of those with you before we say goodbye. Here we have one iteration, just using half of the triangles, and it creates this awesome spiraling downward. Here it is with printemps, like a weighted printemps. Kind of fun. And then we took it even further, and I don't know if you can actually see, but this is paradox. And after we did our basic triangles, we broke each triangle down into a square and used those squares as our inspiration to fill. Again, you can see the spiral, but the paradox has completely disappeared. I love this one. And this is the same principle, but instead of using a square, we actually broke each triangle into smaller triangles and used this triangular fragment to fill in, and highlighting with some fun gold. So there you have it. Thanks for joining me.